season is officially around the corner, set to begin January 26th, and this year brings big changes for millions of Americans. The new One Big Beautiful Act locks in lower tax rates, expands deductions for working families, and even introduces new ways to save on your taxes. But navigating these updates can be complicated. Joining us to break down what we here in Kentucky and those across the country really need to know when they filed this year's taxes is Joe Bishop-Henchman. He is Executive Vice President for the National Taxpayers Union Foundation. Joe, thanks for taking time to join us, buddy.
Great to be with you.
All right, Joe, before we get into all the details, what should taxpayers understand at a high level about how this tax season is different from last year?
Well, we've got changes at the federal level and at the state level. State level, it's a pretty simple one. The income tax went down a little bit, 4% to 3.5% starting this year. So you may see that in your paychecks, although it may not affect what you're filing for last year just yet. And then for federal, well, you've got a whole new form, Schedule 1A, and that's for your tips, your overtime, your car loans, or if you're a senior, for an extra deduction. So don't miss out on that one if you qualify for any of those. Obviously, those were big landmark changes from the president's campaign that he got into the bill. So don't miss out on those. And then a big thing to know is what was avoided. A lot of the tax cuts from 2017 would have expired if the bill had not passed, and your average Kentuckian would have seen a $1,700 tax increase. But
Wow.
That's not going to happen, and that's good news.
That is very good news. Joe Bishop-Henchman joining us. He is the Executive Vice President of the National Taxpayers Union Foundation. We're talking about changes to your taxes coming up here in Kentucky over the next year. The new law, Joe, permanently extends key parts of the 2017 Tax Cuts and Jobs Act, as you mentioned. So you mentioned that means we're going to save about $1,700 for each working family here. Now, this law introduces new deductions for things like the overtime car loan interest. You mentioned that earlier. I think it's kind of important. That's only if you don't take the standard deduction. Is that right?
No. You can do it even if you also take the standard deduction. So it's good news. There's also a new charitable contribution deduction that will take effect for this year. So for the next filing season, that will join those. But if you earn tips, if you earn overtime, if you have car loan interest, if you're a senior, definitely read the fine print on Schedule 1A. Now, not all tips are eligible. Not all overtime is eligible. So the IRS has some regulations on what counts as a tip. So don't think that you're a lawyer like me and you can recategorize some of your stuff to be a tip and get away with it. But if you're, a service worker and you get tips, you're certainly going to be eligible.
Wonderful. Joe Bishop-Henchman joining us now, Executive Vice President of the National Taxpayers Union Foundation. I know that car loan deduction may add up for some folks, that's for sure. And let me ask you this, Joe, since the deductions apply retroactively to 2025 earnings, one, how important is it for folks to file early? And what kind of records should they have on hand and should they have ready? Say, I want to put that car interest loan. Should I have all my invoices, my car notes, et cetera?
I help some people do their filing each year. And, whether you have a paid preparer or you use an online service, just have everything that you've gotten in the mail. Okay. Or been emailed. It never hurts to have all of that ready to go, especially when it comes to some of these new deductions. So just have all of that ready, but especially anything marked W-2, anything marked 1099, anything related to tips, overtime, car loan interest. Just have all of that ready.
Joe, there were also changes involving, as you mentioned, telehealth services, the HSAs. I know folks have those who are listening, and 529 education accounts. Who stands to benefit most from those updates?
Yeah, if you have any of these accounts, definitely check up on the maximums that you can give because those change each year with inflation. Additionally, these new Trump accounts for children will be rolling out soon. So if you've got a newborn or one on the way, ask your tax preparer about those as well.
Wonderful insight. Again, Joe Bishop-Henchman, Executive Vice President of the National Taxpayers Union Foundation, spending a few minutes with us to talk about your taxes in 2026. Last question for you, Joe. And even with the new federal deduction, state taxes still apply. What's your advice to Kentuckians so they don't get caught off guard filing their taxes?
Double check your withholding amounts each year. You want to make sure that whatever your goal is for filing season, that your withholding is accurate. And first payroll in January is probably a good time to look into that and ask about that. First couple payrolls in January. Because if your goal is you want to get a big refund next April, then adjusting your withholdings is how you make that happen. Or if your goal is you want to have it even out to as close to zero as possible by April of next year, then that's what I tried to do. You got to make sure your withholding is accurate there. And then if you're making any contributions to retirement accounts or contributions to health accounts, those maximums go up each January 1. So double check those and make sure that it's accurate. And then, as I said, the Kentucky state income tax went down 0.5 point starting January 1. So you should see a little more in your paychecks from that.
Well, Joe, this is definitely a lot for taxpayers to process, of course, from new deductions for tips, overtime, and car loan interest to changes to forms to the Trump accounts for children. We appreciate all the hard work you folks do at the National Taxpayers Union Foundation and also for making yourself available to us. I know I'm going to put you in my Rolodex, probably on speed dial, my man, because you've been right there with the answers. And, Joe, if people are listening and they're not in a place where they're thinking to themselves, I got some questions, where can they go to find out more information on what you guys do?
NTU.org, and feel free to reach out to us.
All right, Joe, thank you so much, my man. I look forward to talking to you down the road.